Cara Andrade. I am one of the 2 innovation specialists on the Innovation for Change Counterpart team. And for all practical purposes, I will be your MC today, and I will help you with any questions you might have regarding the challenge.
I can go next. Hey, everybody. I'm Derek Kalin. I'm the other innovation specialist on the Innovation for Change team. And I supported Cara as we helped run the Helper Hub side of the judging process.
I am Maria Eugenia Ludueña. I am in Buenos Aires. I am a journalist and the co-director of Agencia Presentes. Agencia Presentes is a website that tries to take attention about LGBT people. We make news every day with our own information about human rights of LGBT people. We are a regional media. We cover Argentina, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay, and also Central America with Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. We work with breaking news. Well, that's what we do.
I am a field finance and accounting assistant for I4C, and I'm working with the team. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Anna Spin. I work in Innpactia, and we are a platform that tries to help civil society and entrepreneurs to find funding opportunities for social impact in Latin America, especially in Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, and Peru, but Latin America.
My name is Rasha, and I work as the Middle East and North Africa point of contact, but I'm also covering the developmental evaluation all over the network. And I think you heard from me last night or in the morning, it depends when did you check your email, that I sent the letters for you all as part of my other technical job, which is the deputy director. So I'm wearing different hats, and I'm really glad that we are here today. The team worked really, really hard on this, and we're really excited for this webinar.
Thanks, Rasha. I really appreciate you sending out those letters. Farangas or Salamzoda?
Hey, I can introduce myself.
Oh, yeah, hey, Farangas.
Yeah, hi, thank you for giving me this. I was trying to speak and I'm like, I can't talk. There's no microphone. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. My name is Farangis Azizova. I'm one of the I4C team members in Washington, D.C., actually relocated in Arlington, but in US. So my responsibility mainly is to help the team with operations, grant procurement, finance, and also I'm the point of contact for Central Asia. So the Central Asia team, hello, you guys know me, so very happy to be part of this webinar and help you with any. I want to also add, if you guys need the translation, please let me know. The Central Asia participants, please just write and I will be maybe typing, or I can provide you translation via, like I can verbally provide the translation.
My name is Chinara. I'm from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, Public Foundation Nash Vek. We have two strategic directions, monitoring external aid and sustainable development. Thank you very much.
The webinar is supposed to be very brief, and the idea is that it's about 20 minutes, and then we want to leave enough space and time for questions that you might have for us about this process. Here's some of the things we're going to talk about today, but I think the most important thing is making very clear how we derived the scores and how we got to the highest scoring proposals, which we're going to call the winners of this challenge. The webinar is being recorded, and it will be made available for other participants who are not able to join. We're going to go through the applicants that are going to be awarded, and then we'll go into the overview of the process. And then 2 5s, hosting proposals on the website. We'd love to be able to publish them. We can talk to you more about that and any questions and comments that you might have. And we did the intros. And here's the applicants. These are the 7 highest scoring applications. And I'm going to go through each of them. Congratulations. Hopefully, I think we do have a couple of them on the call. There is a lot of competition, a lot of really amazing proposals that came through, and we'll be able to speak to you about how the scoring worked with the different judges and any questions you might have as well around this. NASHVEC's project is specifically focusing on the issues of participation and involvement of civil society. Well, NASHVEC, you're here, so do you want to speak a little bit about your project?
Инара, если вам хотите, вы можете на русском, а я потом переведу. Или как вам удобно?
Спасибо, Фарангиз. Здесь у нас есть Мурат сейчас рядом. Он немножко тоже может рассказать.
Окей, он на английском? Он будет на английском рассказывать?
Я на английском, да? Да, он может на английском, либо я на русском, а вы, может быть, можете, да, попробовать?
Да, я могу. И если Мурат может на английском рассказать, а потом вы добавите, так тоже можно. Ну, как бы, чтобы чтобы время тоже, ну, вам как удобно.
Вообще-то, да, давайте, Мурат, я сейчас дам Мурату трубку.
Да, добрый день, Фарангиз. Hello, everyone. My name is Murat. I also work together with Chinara in NGO NASHVEC, and I would like to just briefly present our project. So, is it? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, you sound great.
Okay. So the main purpose of our project is our project is aimed on local people, especially the representatives of local NGOs in districts of our republic in Kyrgyzstan, and also the main purpose is to increase the role of civic civic people of local people in the questions of monitoring of how the financial support of private companies is used in order to make it more transparent and increase the transparency and accountability in our country, because there are several companies, private companies, who work in the sphere of mining, and according to the national law, they should direct 2% of their profit in order to develop our regions, and it is the main purpose of our project.
We do have somebody from Presentes here. Would you like to present your project?
Yes, of course. Well, our proposal is about to create a collaborative database to map hate crimes, murder, attacks, and violations of the human rights of LGBT people in Argentina.
Thank you. The third winning proposal is Child Rights Defenders League. If we happen to have someone from the organization, feel free to present your project. What they're working on is waste management and management ecological problems. And the main thing that's coming out of the proposal is creating a mechanism for making sure that you can track waste in the Kyrgyz Republic and for citizens to participate in that by changing different behaviors around their actual individual waste. So that's the third highest proposal. And then Feed a Core.
To say that this was like a replication of our tech bootcamp that we had very successful with what we conducted in Almaty this year in January. So Feed-A-Core was one of the participants from this tech bootcamp, and after the event, and we had a small presentation of the small innovation grants. And then after this idea came up that why don't we just replicate this in Tajikistan? And it turned out that it's was very successful concept note. And of course, as you can read, the Tech Bootcamp will bring the civil society and activists together. So they will be using new ideas, using technologies, and how to resolve the, creatively resolve the problem together. And of course, we hope that this project will help the local CSOs to address the challenges that they have in the country. So the focus will be, of course, on CSOs from the regions, and since the new technology is something new for them, so they will be working with the CSOs in Central Asia.
Great, thanks, Farah.
Sure.
Senegal, that's our fifth high scoring proposal. It's from the Africa region. The others were from Latin American, Caribbean, as well as Central Asia. Senegal is, the proposal itself is called Senegal, and it's a collaboration between Senegal, Senegalese Ethical, Senegal is the organization, and then Time Bank USA, who's the fiscal sponsor. And what they're going to be doing is that through a program that they already have in place called SEAL, they're going to provide students with access to storytelling and training programs in journalism, photography, music, and filmmaking. And I think they're going to really focus a lot on the role of women in Senegal. And so it's a really interesting idea too, where they're bringing together time banking. I know time banking really well because the founder of time banking is a member of the Ashoka network. Ashoka is the international organization of social entrepreneurs, and time banking is this platform that makes it possible for people to create online volunteering. And so it's really interesting that they're collaborating in Senegal to bring their technology tools to this SEAL program as well. So it's I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of that collaboration. Number 6, Derek, would you like to read the number 6?
Sure thing. The Citizen Policy Internet Initiative, their goal is to develop and launch a system for monitoring the compliance of state information sources with the requirements of, as we all know, Ordinance number 344, July 10, 2017. This was a system for monitoring and identifying cases of blocking information resources and violations of the rights of access to information. And a high-scoring proposal it was too.
Thank you. And last but not least, Innpactia, and we have someone from Innpactia here. Would you like to talk to us?
Yeah, I'm here. Sure. Okay, my English is not the best, but I'm gonna try. Okay, we want to develop an automatic assistant so we can help civil society organizations to formulate their projects and help the whole process of applying to funding, because nowadays the organizations that know how to apply and sell their ideas are winning, and not those who have the greatest ideas. So we want to democratize these kind of things, the expertise.
Awesome, excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Overview of the process. So as you know, our challenge is part of a bigger social innovation that we're also testing. And it's the early stage funding phase of this, what we're calling the Civic Innovation Pipeline. And the idea is that for our network, which is Innovation for Change, that we want to be able to provide easy entry into like the social innovation space, and how the network is also using different social innovations and testing different ideas out to address civic space challenges. So the challenge was part of this, right? And if you saw some stardust, as Disney would call it, or some hiccups or different things, it's that we weren't completely worked out. It's because we were also prototyping this idea for ourselves to see like if that approach of using a challenge with seed funding had merit, and it would be useful to the network and to the different regions for testing out ideas. And so what you're seeing in this early stage funding is ideas that can be implemented within 2 months. And so that's one of the main criteria that the judges looked at. and we'll go through like more specifically the criteria, but so that's where it is: far left, early stage funding, and then second stage, third stage, and fourth stage funding. Scoring. I'm not sure how many of you have seen this before, but this is the criteria that was used. And the first part is looking at like the purpose and understanding, and like specifically, we had a lot of proposals that didn't, they were really great ideas, but they weren't ideas specific to civic space, and closing civic space, and what we consider the 4 pillars of civic space that are really well fleshed out in the Civic Monitor, right? And that's freedom of assembly, right to expression, all these different pillars that we consider part of free and open societies. Also, it gets into this criteria, this section of the criteria is also looking at whether an approach is being localized. And one of the main priorities of social innovations is that they prioritize people, right? It's not just like innovation for profit's sake. It's like, do they help people? Do they help people solve a specific problem in their context, right? And is it inclusive? And does it provide spaces for participation? The other thing, the criteria, this one was hard for some judges because we had a lot of outside judges too, and that was intentional, is that the idea also had to align with the regional hub. Each hub had its own work plan and objectives. And so we might have had some proposals that were really high scoring, but maybe they didn't align so well with where the region, where like some of its intention and its objectives for the region over the next year. So that was really important, was that alignment. There's also the section on outcomes, outputs, and activities. Realistic was really important, like how feasible some projects, really great, but you know, there's no way they could have been done in 2 months, right? They're like year-long projects, and so they weren't high scoring in this area because of that. There's also, it was really important that the projects be able to kind of fit a planning and reflection question that could also contribute to like learning within the network. And that's part of like our developmental evaluation process. The third, looking in this area too, and we're also looking, this is more on the budget operations side. And again, some proposals were really strong, but they were just more than $10,000, right? And the idea is that what can you actually do? What can you accomplish in 2 months with $10,000, right? Is it feasible? If you needed like $40,000 for something, like, and you know, it wasn't like you were getting funded or that you were seeking funding for one component of that, then you weren't going to get high scores on this either, right? Scalability was really important as well. Like, can this approach, and that's I think one of the main purposes of this challenge is like, can the project be scaled beyond this smaller version of itself, right? Like, is this like a preview of coming attractions? Like, can we actually like take it to the next step and see how it could work, say, in another region, or maybe in the same region, be able to scale it to the next level, right? So that's a really important criteria for us as well. And last but not least is that, you know, is the organization that is proposing this project able to actually implement successfully the project? Like, do they have like a record of being able to implement this? And a lot of that came through in just like people sharing stories about their organization, having done similar projects in the past, and how it kind of has already aligned with the place, like where the organization was going. So we also weren't looking for projects that were just pitching to the idea. In theory, we wanted projects where organizations whereas actually those projects were going to help the organization get to where they needed to get to as far as like how they were innovating. And so that criteria was also very important for us. And here's a really beautiful use of the data. I'm going to have Derek take it away here and speak specifically about how the scoring went, because once all the scores were submitted by almost 30 judges, then they went into a database, and Derek was able to do his magic around that.
Right. So we were frankly very impressed with the volume of applications that came in. We had, 54 applications from 5 different regions and in 3 languages. They showed up in English, Spanish, and Russian, which was a wonderful challenge for the Helper Hub team to figure out how to process all of this information in a timely manner, get judges from all over the place. We ended up organizing 25 different judges from the private sector, nonprofit sector, within Counterpart, outside of Counterpart, and they were able to submit something close to 180 scores for all these different applications. So the visualization that you're seeing here is the breakdown of scores, the average score for all the, if somebody received 3 scores, we averaged the score, and that's the bar that you're seeing here. And the line that you're seeing going up the middle is the average score required to pass. We put a really high bar on an eligible score. The idea being that we really wanted to pick the cream of the crop, and we were astounded to see how many applications actually broke over this barrier and shattered it, really. So we ended up selecting the top 7 applicants for a total of about $70,000 for funding. And then Cara, if you can switch to the next slide. Yeah, here's a little bit further of a breakdown on our end about the highest scoring applications. And you could see a little bit of, the dashboard that we used in this decision making. We'll have to do some translation work to make sure that everybody can see the English language proposals. But you can see that we do have some diversity in the top scoring applicants by region. So we were able to award to the Africa Hub, Central Asia Hub, and Latin America Hub, which we're delighted to see.
Great, thanks, Derek. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for a minute and do question and answer. We'll move up to Q&A because we've just given you a lot of information. And it would probably, I'm guessing some of you might have some questions. No questions?
I don't see anyone raising their hands or unmuted. I only see Maria unmuted. I'm not sure if...
Okay.
No, I'm not muted.
You're good? Okay.
Okay, great.
We were very thorough.
Okay.
Anytime if you feel more comfortable typing in any language, we can translate. And
I think we've got at least 4 languages among us here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at least. Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to the hosting proposals. Let me go ahead and share this too. Well, actually, we don't need so much to share that, but Derek, do you want to talk about the hosting, how we could actually host them on the website? Because this is an idea we were playing with over the past week, because there are so many great entries, right? And we have our website, which is innovationforchange.net. Derek, what's the thinking on this?
Right. So part of our focus within the Helper Hub is to showcase the innovations being done by the network. And when we say innovations, we mean, ideas about how to do things new and differently and effectively in order to improve civic space. And there are a bunch of different fantastic ideas out in the network. Frankly speaking, although we were only able to fund 7 projects in the course of this particular grant series, we think that the ideas that were submitted to, this challenge deserve to be showcased and perhaps revealed to other donors, other network members who can get inspired by them. So we'll be following up not just to the people on this call, but to the broader applicant pool of 54 odd organizations to ask if, even if we're not able to fund their proposals, we'd love to share the ideas that they've submitted on our website so that other network members and potential people outside the network could see their ideas. So we'll be writing out a proposal and sending it to you all, asking for your consent, but we're looking forward to showing off the cool ideas that network members are coming up with. Thanks,
Derek. And then one of the things that, this is kind of like getting into next steps, and I'm gonna let Fergus speak a little bit about the timeline that we sent you in your letters. The idea then is that you're coming in as a cohort, so there'll be like 7 of you doing 7 really amazing projects all over the world. And so one of the stipulations of your grant agreement is going to be that at some point during that 2-month period that you get on a call with the other 6 awardees and be able to share some of like the things that you're doing, some of the challenges, some of the things that are working, and then that there could hopefully be this infrastructure for collaboration among you. And so that's just going to be like, you know, making time to have a conversation with the other grantees, and we'll figure out like a good time to do that, and be a virtual conversation and meeting that we'll have. Fergus, do you want to talk about the next steps as far as the timeline of the awarding process?
Sure. So for those that were selected, we will be reaching out next week to collect, because there is a pre-award stage, and the pre-award stage has we have to collect some kind of documents from you. We will be sending you the forms to complete, and of course you can you know, if you have any questions on any of those forms that you will be receiving, you can reach out to me, and we'll have other team members who will be in this process. So you can always reach out to us and ask questions. But once we receive all documents, and of course we will be working with you on your budget. As you know, the summary that you provided in your concept note was very like a deep, like a brief one. Now we're gonna be working with you on the detailed budget. So you will receive all those templates, forms, and then once we finalize this, we will be also, as you know, one of the requirements is to get the prior approval from our donor, which is USAID. So we'll be sending them the letter for prior approval. So even though you were selected, we can't guarantee until we have the donor approval for your concept note. So that will be in the process during while we will be putting the pre-award package together. And then in terms of the timeline, we're hoping that by May, like mid-May, we will be able to issue all those grant agreement. It will be a fixed amount award. I don't know if you had experience working with this kind of mechanism, but we're more than happy to give you more like explanation about how this grant agreement works. So just in summary, I can tell you that it will be based on the on your milestones. So we don't need financial report, but it's kind of strict because you can get paid. You won't have a advance, but you will be using your resources, and then you will be reimbursed for that. So in other words, there will be like 4 or 3, depending on your project. There will be milestones that we will also discuss with you. And then there will be deliverables under each milestone. And once you meet all those deliverables under like the first milestone, and there will be a list of the deliverables. Once you meet the milestone deliverables and you send them to us, then you get reimbursed. So that's it's working well, especially for those projects that for the short period like this, especially with the 10,000, and you know, in such a short period like 2 months, it's not a lot. So that's why it's the best way, the best mechanism, grant mechanism for us to use. So that will be the kind of next step. So hopefully, and of course, we hope that during that process, you will be providing us the documentation and responses in a timely manner, because it's from our side, we will be trying to do our best, but it's also very important that from your side, we also receive the documentations on time, and then if there's some information needed, we can reach out to you. Of course, we use Skype sometimes to communicate, or WhatsApp, whatever is the best or fastest way for us to get the responses. That will be that's the tool we're gonna be using. But good luck with for those who have been selected, and for those that were not, we still encourage you guys to apply for other opportunities, and look forward to work with those 7 grantees.
Thanks, Frangas. Really appreciate it. So the good news is you're in good hands with Frangas, because it seems like it's a very complex process, but Frangas knows it very well, and she'll guide you step by step. So don't worry about that. I'll be here to help you as well, especially once your contracts and everything, your agreements are all approved, then I'll be meeting with each of you individually to go through your milestones, and really kind of hammering out feasibility, because some of the timelines were more feasible than others. So I'm definitely here to help you with any ideas or any feedback, and just kind of bounce things back. And then Derek is also going to be really helpful to you on the tech side. So if there's things that you're doing, a lot of you are doing platforms, or you're doing big data type of stuff, then please see Derek as a resource as well for ideas. Derek always has like a list of different tools that I've never heard of that are really great. Please just see us as a resource to you, and to helping your project be a successful project. So we're here to help you. And then the last part, hopefully that, well, let me just pause for a minute. Any questions on the next steps and what we just shared with you? Okay, and then the timeline that we sent in your letter is, it's kind of it's a wish list type of timeline, meaning that like we're gonna strive to meet those dates. There might be one or a couple of dates that that will depend very much on like how soon you get your paperwork in, but that's generally that time period. We've given enough cushion in the windows of time that we shared with you, that it makes it possible for all of you to get your paperwork in to FARA and to make it to the next step as far as like project implementation, which starts May 15th. So you have plenty of time to get that process underway. And then the last part here, what's really helpful to us, and you'll see, I'm going to do a follow-up email. And in that follow-up email, there's going to be a longer survey. It's only 5 questions, I swear. It's not one of those like long surveys, but it would really help us if you had a chance to fill this survey out, because we were piloting a process as well. We want to just really get your feedback, honest feedback. You can be anonymous. You don't have to share your name or anything on there, about how the process of applying, how that was for you. And there's a question there specifically about your experience with the tech support team, giving you, following up with you, just anything that you need, any feedback that would be, that, you want to share with us is really helpful to us. And we also wanted to get a quick sense from the people on the call right now, how you felt about, this is called Mentimeter. It's a tool that has become a favorite in the network. It's a really quick polling application. And so if you can, go to menti.com and then put in that code. Well, thank you, everybody. We look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to the team that made all this possible. Go help her help.